We're here again, the Uncensored Philly Sports Podcast. Let me throw the plug in there. YouTube, Facebook, Spotify, iTunes, Twitter, and we working on the Instagram for y'all. We here after Sixers played the Golden State Warriors, a team fighting to get in the playoff. I think they like a 9th, 10th spot over there in the West. They fighting for playoff seed. And Steph Curry is trying to prove why he should be MVP of the league. He scorched the Sixers for a hot 49 when he hit 10 3-pointers.
Yep.
Steph Curry is playing at a very, very high level. Hats off to him against a depleted team. Somebody tell me why we set Ben Simmons. I know Tobias Harris is achy. We did have George Hill. We had a George Hill showing tonight. We'll get into that. But I guess the talk tonight is two things. It's the play of Steph Curry and it's how they defended MVP Joel Embiid and how he responded to what they was throwing at him. So,
yeah.
Who wants to start?
You know what? I mean, honestly, in the grand scheme of things, it wasn't. In the grand scheme of things,
No, don't do that.
No. Don't come on disrupting it, bro. Let's go. In the grand scheme of things, it wasn't the worst thing that could happen. But
that's how you gonna try to do me.
But it's like if we set Ben Simmons down, like first of all, I want to know, was he really hurt when we set him down, or you know what I'm saying, like, or did he really need that rest? The Sixers took him for granted, and you can't do that when Steph Curry is playing on the level that he's playing. If you want to be the defensive player of the year, and you talking how you shutting down everybody, this, that, and other, this the game you come in and you play and you show out. You don't sit out this game. I don't care if it was the Sixers organization or what. But that being said, I mean, we didn't have Ben, we didn't have Tobias, and we see that the point that I made last podcast where I said the Sixers really do need all three of the big three to play against the better teams, even though I don't know if Golden State is the better team. But Ben Simmons causes some separation, gives Embiid some room, and Tobias is Tobias. But the rest of the team, I'm just irked by the fact that they didn't even play.
Sixers in the playoffs. If Sixers one game cost them the first seed, we ain't had a first seed. We ain't deserve the first seed anyway. Ain't no way in the world one loss to Golden State should cost you the first seed when you got Embiid, Tobias, and Ben Simmons.
But we don't. And you also competing against New Jersey and
listen. I want to talk about the game a little bit.
New Jersey got KD. KD ain't even playing.
Let's talk about the game.
Let's talk about the game a little bit. Let's talk about. I want to get into one thing real fast.
Yeah.
The Defensive Player of the Year award that Ben Simmons wants.
It goes to Draymond Green.
It would have been a good opportunity to showcase, but hats off. And he said it. Hats off to Draymond Green, man. I mean, to be 6'6", what was he weigh? 220, 230 maybe? And to play the defense like he did tonight, especially on Joel Embiid, yeah, he picked up fouls. But hats off to that, man. I know a week or two back he was screaming he's the best defender ever, and all these older players started screaming about that's blasphemy. But first of all, it's a different NBA. Could Draymond Green playing back in those days would be an excellent defender. You can't tell me otherwise. He plays that style. He's physical. He uses hands. Back then, you use your hands a lot more. You play a lot more physical. He'd be an excellent defender. I'll play with that guy any day. But Embiid, I don't know why they didn't have him getting lower on the box to accept the ball instead of always high. Maybe it was something Golden State was doing, and Draymond was
too strong for him.
He wasn't too strong for him to keep him out of the box.
But when they was trapping Embiid, when they was trapping him, he really looked confused and really threw our offense. It gave our offense a ton of fits.
I don't think he was confused. I think he was trying to make stuff happen. You got to remember, it's egos in this thing. Embiid know he a viable MVP candidate. When you see Steph snapping, you want to snap. So sometimes I think he was trying to force the issue a little bit when he probably should have kicked it to somebody else. And he actually made a couple of nice plays on the basket, and a couple of them he missed. He was right there at the rim, a couple of layups. He made a couple nice Euro steps, a couple side steps, and he missed the layup. He was right there at the bucket. But with to your point, and this is what I brought this up on the podcast before. I think it was the last podcast when Joel Embiid says, what did he say? I could dominate in the middle if I want, but I don't really like that kind of basketball. So guess what he does? He plays outside the perimeter a lot, wanting to shoot jump shots against Draymond, like Ethan said, who's 6'7". All hats off to Draymond. And I told y'all before, Draymond was a better defender than Ben Simmons, but
No, he's
I
not.
digress. Yes, he is.
Mm.
Anyway, against Draymond, B should have been in the low post every time. And I agree with Wayne. I don't know if he said that on this, but he was saying that in our chat. He should have had starting off Draymond in the post, but B don't want to play like that all the time. He himself has said this. That's a problem to me.
I don't
just
think that
because
go ahead,
Golden
Tom.
State is your squad don't mean you get to talk the whole podcast. But listen,
Steph Curry, man.
this is I have a couple of issues with this game. One being Mike Scott at this point needs to be out the rotation. I mean, he came in looking like Najee Ramba from Mark. No, I don't know why he took his braids out and then get it rebraided or cut. But besides that, he gave us 0 points today. 0. But you know who I'm really, really, really disappointed in? Shake Milton.
Yep.
Shake Milton is the reason. If I'm going to put an onus on, like, as far as bench help and not giving us anything, he hit that 3-pointer, but the game was over at that point, in all honesty. I mean, he cut it to 6, but the game was over. Steph was not going to let them lose that game. And the thing is, he was before then, he was 0 for 6 or 0 for 7. He gave us nothing. And that is a problem. So, in my opinion, he's going to be out the rotation. If Doc is getting his rotation, he's going to be the odd man out.
So who's filling in for him?
Yeah,
George Hill?
Maxey in.
Maxey? I wasn't impressed with George Hill tonight. I mean, it's his first game, so I'll let that slide. We'll see what he does.
I kind
when
of was
everybody comes back
impressed because
together.
it was his first game.
I mean, I felt like George Hill was kind of feeling his way through. My biggest problems.
I was more impressed with Maxey.
I agree with Tim. The two guys that irked me the most was Mike Scott. He's useless. He is useless. And to the point of Embiid being down in the post, when I'm looking at it more and more, they were sitting there, they double team on B, and then they sent the third man. And you were getting guys out like, I mean, Mike Scott, like they was giving him Eric Snow treatment, but I guess it's like nobody wanted to throw it to him because he does nothing. Like, what is he on the court for? He gets no rebounds, he can't score, he can't defend. Why is he there? I would rather see the young guy find his way in the game than see him play that. The same way I would rather see Maxey in there for Shake shooting 14%. 14% is inexcusable.
It is.
That's inexcusable in this game.
Look,
when you need your offense.
Doc made a statement to ESPN, and I think this has come down to coaching, which was kind of bad today. He said to ESPN, it's okay if Steph gets his points and Embiid gets his points. No, it's not okay if you're just going to let Steph, because Steph can beat you and he will beat you. He didn't need anybody else to beat him. He should have put that double or that triple team to Steph. You're not going to let him guard anybody one-on-one or he going to black out, which he did today.
But they started trying to do that, and then the difference was Golden State other guys was hitting shots. Golden State other guys was hitting shots.
The
star was blinking at that point.
You know who else hit a couple jumpers?
Star was blinking.
Draymond Green. See, and you see where he hit him, like the 8-7 foot. That's all I want to see Ben do.
Draymond also went 0 for 3 for threes, though.
It don't matter. You just take them little jumpers, and that just open it. Because remember, just like you said, they was leaving Mike Scott open at the 3. When Draymond said the pick, they leave Draymond wide open at 3.
I agree with you.
You want him to take it, but that little 7-8 footer he was hitting, I was surprised he hit it. But I would like to see Ben develop something like that, and that'll go easier. It'll help easier around that baseline like that.
I agree.
I mean, I agree. I mean, Draymond is actually hitting mid-season form at the perfect time for Golden State. He was playing suspect very early in the year, turning the ball over a lot, taking bad shots, missing. The 3-point percentage was in the toilet. It was very, very he's not a high 3-point shooter, but he at least isn't around the 30s. At the beginning of the season, he was somewhere in the 20s. He was shooting.
He still was trash tonight. He shot 0 for 3 for threes.
I mean, but I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm talking all around shooting threes and everything. He was very bad, but he has come around even during this Steph Curry barrage 10-game, entourage or not? What's the word I'm looking for? Barrage of points. Draymond has actually been very consistent as well throughout this whole thing. and that has helped them win some games. They one of the hottest teams in the league. They lost their last game because they ran into another hot team in the Celtics. But to Wayne's point that he was saying earlier, and when they started the podcast early without me, but I still kind of heard him. He was saying how why was Ben missing this game? This is not a game I think that you rest because Golden State was so hot. Steph Curry has been on fire. He on a whole nother planet right now. If you want to try to, the only dude I honestly think in this league who can give Steph Curry the hardest problem is Ben Simmons because he's 6'10", he got reach, and he's athletic. He's the one dude who you can put out and chase him off the line.
He's really sick.
Be honest with you, I don't even think they would have had him guarding Steph because they kept putting up these stats of how good Danny Green was. Was guarding Steph through his career. So I think they was going to start out with Danny. He actually started out with Seth, and he was off. It looked like Seth was, guarding him a little bit. And Seth started cooking early on. Then I guess they tried to get another scorer involved, and the next person after Tobias and Ben was probably Seth. So it looked like they was going to Seth a lot, so maybe that was the only option because he took a lot of shots. What Seth had tonight? 17 or something like that?
Yeah, Seth took 15 shots. He was 6 for 15. 40%.
He probably hit all his shots in the first quarter.
Yeah, I think he did.
He started off hot.
Yeah,
I did not like.
That's because Steph came out and was chilling early on. When Steph turned it on, Seth was no longer to be found.
That's true. I was a little disappointed with that too because he came out looked like he almost trying. We knew he wasn't going to go bucket for bucket, but it looked like he was trying to at least maybe drop a 20 spot, 25, and maybe meet Steph halfway. That didn't happen. Once Steph got to cooking. Curry game, the other little Curry game went with him, and it was a wrap after that. I mean, I agree with Tim. You can't let him. Normal Curry, and normal Curry is we know normal Curry, a great player too. Normal Curry, you may be able to try to run that defense. What he's doing right now is no way you could run that defense and think you're gonna win this game. It's no way.
Go ahead. But what's sad though? Embiid actually had a decent game.
He did.
Curry game was he had 28, 13, and 8. He
shot 38%. He shot 38%. That wasn't a good game.
That's true.
That was not a good game.
Not only that,
but
he was getting. That defense.
He shot 8 for 21.
When that defense,
he was trying to do it by himself.
They bodied him. They followed the Toronto Raptors defensive philosophy in the Boston Celtics philosophy, and it actually worked.
But it worked. But see, this is why I'm saying sometimes we don't want to give Ben Simmons the credit that he does deserve, even though he's not offensive. I agree. Like he needs that Draymond, that mid range, at least to shoot it. But that being said, Embiid had a whole lot less. Like even when Ben played the other game, Embiid had more space to move than that.
Yeah,
and our 3-point shooting was off. They say Ben Simmons assists on more 3-pointers than anybody else in the league.
Not only that,
Simmons,
go ahead.
Court
I don't think you're not going to change your doubling philosophy with Ben on the court. The only person that's going to change that is Toby because Ben doesn't spread the court enough for you to change that philosophy.
I get what you're saying, right? But you do know that we got out rebounded by them tonight. So it does make a difference. If you notice when they came and they swarmed on Embiid, nobody was down there to get a rebound. When Ben Simmons plays, they do throw a body on Ben Simmons to try to box him out. That's why Ben Simmons jumps in and get like those tip out rebounds that he gets. I'm not saying that Ben Simmons is this great offensive player, but he does demand some kind of they don't just let Ben Simmons stand there. They throw somebody on there to keep him off the boards, and Embiid didn't have that tonight.
And I agree with it.
I agree with that.
As far as the statistically, Ben Simmons, when Ben Simmons is in the game with Embiid has a better shooting percentage. That's what it came down to. They play better on the court together. You may think that they don't because Ben don't score, but it actually it is vice versa.
I
agree with that too because Ben. I mean, he's so athletic, he's so tall. If you do give him a lane, Ben will. One thing I say about Ben, he'll dunk on you. My only problem with Ben is when he gets met at the lane, he stops. He passes back out. He don't, more often than not, he don't try to attempt to shoot the ball. But everybody around the league does know if Ben get a crease, he will go up and try to dunk it. So you can't just leave him be and not like act like he's not going to do nothing. So I mean, to y'all point, it does open it up. That in turn does open it up for Joel Embiid. But I remember Ethan. I had to give Ethan a little credit, even though Ethan don't like giving people credit they deserve when they say stuff. But I remember a couple weeks ago, we was talking about Golden State, and he said that Golden State defend. We was talking about how they got athletic, quick defenders, and they'll create a problem for our Shake Miltons, for our not Tobias, but Cork Mazes and all them. And that is kind of what happened. That's kind of what happened. They was out there, they was moving around. I mean, I know Ethan watched Golden State. He might not watch as much as I do, but I know he watched Golden State a lot. And them Oubre and them, Bazemore.
Wiggins a long defender. Wiggins is a pretty good, a decent defender. He don't get a lot of credit, but he's a decent defender.
Not only that,
I agree with
Wiggins
y'all,
was able to today Wiggins was able to hit some key baskets in the third quarter because they were starting to struggle. They actually let us come back a little bit, and then Wiggins knocked down a couple.
But I agree with what y'all saying with that though. But that's my whole point, and this is why I said what I said last time. We need our big three. And I'm not saying big three as in ours is the same as the Nets, but I'm saying our big three players because all three of them are integral to what we do.
We saw that.
We play big bully ball. Let's be real. Like last time we played, Tobias bullies guys down here. So when you're facing a team like this, you play more bully ball. You can do that more when you got Tobias and you got Ben. Now Embiid is the only size advantage we got, and they threw everybody at him. And then you got nothing from nobody else.
Is Steph Curry
ball?
Has Steph Curry taken the MVP lead right now over Embiid?
Embiid is no longer in my book. Like
I'm not gonna make that. There was just one game.
And he also missed like 18 games. He was already on the border. He was already.
I'm just saying.
But
as
Steph
of this
missed
point,
18 games too.
I'm asking he hasn't missed that many games. He ain't missed that many games. As of this point in the season. All I'm saying is
he's making the case.
Who's the MVP?
He's making the case. He is making the case.
If anybody
listen, I gotta say this though.
They still gotta make the playoffs.
This is what I mean about now. This is what I mean about how teams like play offense with defense. Could y'all see that tonight?
What you mean from Golden State?
Yes. And this is what I'm saying could be the problem with the Nets. When they start bombing away, it gets you out your game.
But does that get the Sixers out the game when they have their regular players in here?
But did it get them out the game tonight? Yes.
But they didn't have Ben Simmons and Tobias Harris.
But Ethan, you different. I hear you, but what we ran into tonight, the only way you win this game is the same way Boston beat Golden State. You have to have another hand just as high. That's the only way. Kirk, what'd you say?
I don't agree with that.
I'm talking about the way.
But I'm saying if you have Tobias Harris, who's matching up with Tobias Harris in the post? You're not sending that many. That's all I'm saying is normally. I'm not saying the Sixers have a big squad, so they play.
I told you Wiggins and Oubre, either one can guard Tobias Harris.
Did we not beat them?
But my thing, I hear what you're saying, Wayne. I'm talking about when you got to do this crazy hot. This dude shot 50. He almost shot 60% from three, and he shot 17 threes. So when you got to do this historically hot, really the only way you're going to win the game is you have to have somebody with an almost equally as hot hand. But my point is to saying to Ethan, the Nets, all right, they got KD, they got Kyrie, they got Harden. All right, okay. I seriously doubt any one of them is going to jack 17 threes and hit 10 of them. I seriously doubt anyone was going to have an offensive.
You don't got to have Steph all Curry. Of them. You could split that between the three.
But to
you can't split that between the three, Ephraim.
Ethan's point that he's making, he's saying about them getting out and their offense being their defense. And my point is you don't have that. You don't get as many fast break. The Sixers shouldn't be out rebounded by Golden State. But when you don't have your second and third leading rebounders in the game, that's going to happen.
Hold on,
Another
let me
thing.
ask you.
Let me get in, please.
No, let me
Another
ask you.
thing.
Right. So
Another
go
thing
ahead.
that happened in the third quarter is because I ain't gonna let you talk over me.
I'm gonna do it.
The Eagles, not the Eagles, but the Sixers
See, you
only
know where you
scored.
at.
They only scored 15 points in the third quarter, and
Yeah,
that
the
was
Sixers.
because we was missing Tobias Harris in that role. And I'm telling you, if Tobias Harris actually played that game, then we would have probably went into the fourth quarter at least tied, if not in the lead. And it came down to the and it came down to the end. We lost the game in the last 3 minutes of the game, really. So I do disagree with you, Ephraim, when you say the only way you could do it is if somebody equally hot. I think we could have done it if we had our players there because they didn't smoke us. I'm saying we held Steph to 9 points in the third quarter. That's not bad. Considering
the way he playing.
Yeah, the way
I mean, my point is, if you look at all the games they lost, I think out of the last 10 games, I think they only lost like 3 Golden State or something like that. Most of the games that they lost, if not all of them, somebody else had it equally as hot hand. They played against Boston, the ball, Tatum, we saw it drop 42. The other game they lost, I think it was to Washington or somebody, and it might have been whatchamacallit that got off, Bradley Beal. So I can't remember who it was. But more often than not, you're going to need a high hand. Can you win without having another high hand? Yeah, it can happen. But more often than not, when you having a dude playing this out of his mind, Ethan, if you combine, do you think that Harden, KD, and Westbrook combined is going to shoot 60% from three? I doubt that. I doubt it.
We're talking about this particular game, though.
But this, I get what you're saying.
But this is what I'm saying. Ethan's saying the offense for defense. This offense was just enormously uncontrollable.
No, that's not true. They didn't do that great in the third. They got off in the fourth. I'm
talking about Steph Curry. He's the reason why
they scored 107. That's not great. I mean, that's good, but that ain't like you got teams scoring 130s and stuff like that nowadays. Yeah. So 107 ain't like the whole team is cooking.
My point is when they got the ball, if you watch the game, right? Mm-hmm. When they got the ball on the miss, they was right up the court, just like the Nets.
Yeah.
And who wasn't involved in that in the defense? Embiid, because he couldn't get up the court in time.
But this is the point that I'm making. They're not getting that many rebounds to take off and go out like that when you have a Ben Simmons and a Tobias Harris in there. They're not. You don't have as many. The Sixers not shooting as many outside shots because now we say what we say about Ben, but Ben do go and play physical inside like on rebounds and stuff. And Tobias goes down low, backs dudes down. Like we do that. So that's all I'm saying is I get what you're saying about them getting rebounds and being out. But that's why I'm saying the Sixers have a bigger team. So when they're playing with their regular team, that's not going to happen like that on a regular basis.
Also, who's Damian Lee? Because in the first half, we let him go 5 for 5 for 12 points.
Damian Lee is the new. He's the new. JR.
He's a nice low player.
Damian Lee, good games.
He's the new JR.
We couldn't stick him.
He's the new J.R. Smith. I watch Golden State a lot. Damian Lee is gets very hot and can get very hot and can get very cold. When he hot. This is what he do. Matter of fact, he won the game early in the year from I think it was like their 5th or 6th game. He won on the buzzer beater. Joe, remember Ethan, me and you was talking about that. He won a buzzer beater. I can't even remember who they was playing. But this is what he do. He come in, he get hot. They actually a very deep team of hot and cold dudes. Even Jordan Poole, he was off tonight. He was 1 for 7, but he could come in and he could give you 15, 17. You got to do
all right, this is called the Uncensored Philly
podcast.
But I'm telling y'all what happened. I'm telling y'all what happened.
We already seen the game.
All right, no, but for real though, this to the other point that I was saying, like, all right, look at this. We look at the game stats, right? You had the Sixers' second leading rebounder was Danny Green with 7. So that's and meanwhile, Wiggins had 10. Draymond wasn't even the second leading rebound. He was third. He was like the third leading rebound.
Wiggins was getting a lot of boards. I seen
Wiggins had 10. Looney had 15. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. Like, whereas though we have a team, I know we like to say about the 3-point shooting and how much we need that, but we have a team built on size. This is the way that we play. And when you take our 2 biggest skilled players other than Embiid out the game, we're going to struggle. It's no way we're going to beat a hot team with that lineup.
I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you the best. All right, I know I'm not trying to put my Golden State ooze on y'all tonight. My Steph Curry ooze.
You already did.
But I'm gonna tell you the best thing that happened to Golden State for real, with the young boy Wiseman getting hurt. That was actually the best thing that happened to him. Kevon Looney is actually a better center for this team than the boy Wiseman, because Kevon Looney does what he's supposed. Or he does all the dirty work.
Wiseman don't need. He don't need the ball.
Great, then Draymond wouldn't have been sticking him.
He don't need the ball.
Hey, I think.
Listen, let me ask you.
No, I'm telling you. They as soon as Wiseman went out, they hit this win streak. Looney is like their dirty work. He like the Dwight Howard. He comes in, he does all the dirty work. That's what he don't, like Ethan said. He don't need to rock. He hardly take no shots. All he get is dunks and layups. Wiseman likes to take threes. He like to do spin moves, try to get freaky. He's going to be a very good player. But for this team right now, without Clay, that was the best thing that happened to him for real.
Yo, Doc got to figure out a way to give Maxey more minutes. He sorry.
He do.
He has to figure out a way. And Wayne, I want you to agree with it. Wayne, I want you to agree with it.
I agree with you on the last podcast.
I've been telling y'all that.
Listen,
you got to get his guy. He can put the ball in the hole.
Remember when
he's a scorer.
Remember we was talking about Shake? Take some of Shake's minutes. Because Shake, what is Shake doing? What is Shake doing?
He's shaking out there. I don't know what he's doing.
I don't get, like, what is Shake doing?
Shake had mental lapses when he out there. He does a lot of goofy things.
But that's what I'm saying. I honestly, at this point, Shake shoots a better three-pointer than Maxey. So I get that part of it, but I mean, at this point, I'm ready to give Maxey some of Shake's minutes because Shake is too erratic.
I have to give Thibault actually did what we've been asking him to do.
He did. He did. He attacked it.
Yeah, he was a little off from the.
I see that dunk he had,
but that dunk was nice.
That
was
a bad break, John.
Yeah.
Then he had 3 steals. Danny Green had 3 steals. We missed Ben Simmons and Tobias Harris.
We definitely missed.
We missed having both. I think you
could have pulled
this one off. I think you could have pulled this one off with either one of them.
We did. We missed.
I think with either one of them, I think we beat them. But with both of them sitting out, I don't think Embiid, and that's what hurts Embiid's MVP thing to me. With Embiid by itself, he's not pulling his team to do all this stuff.
Well, you gotta remember.
Hold on, Wayne. Let me ask Wayne something.
Yeah.
Wayne thinks with either one we win or with both.
With either one, I think we win tonight. With Ben or Toby.
I'll say this.
I think we
get a lot more rebounds. I think we get a lot more rebounds, and we get also
greedy dude.
Yeah, I am. But when we look at
Wayne is greedy than me though. Wayne been talking the whole pod.
You right.
All right,
all right, real quick though. But the other thing is, you don't think if we looked at our fast break offense was trash tonight? You don't think that Ben Simmons made a difference? Will make a difference in that? That's why I say Ben or Toby, we win.
Yeah, you right because Ben wouldn't be shooting, so he'll be standing back at the top of the key. He better get on back on defense.
No, I'm talking about on fast break on offense, making the other team have to play.
All right. What I was saying was, it's like, no. Remember last year when Ben didn't play in the playoffs? And even though the Embiid got his numbers, the team still couldn't do anything without Ben as that point guard. I mean, the significance of him as the point guard for this team is real.
We had George Hill, who you said would be better.
I'm talking about last year's playoff run when we was in there. We couldn't do anything.
I don't know. I think we'd have lost anyway. I just think we just didn't have it that year, last year. But
I'll say this. I'll say this to Wayne's point where he said either one would have won. We'd have won. If we'd have had Ben and they didn't have Ben defending Curry, I think we still lose that game. Tobias, I think, would have helped because he'd have gave us a little bit more offense. But if Ben wasn't sticking Curry full time, Curry still would have did what he did. We'd have lost, and Ben's offense would have been enough to help.
I think, to be honest with you, Ben's not the right size to run through screens and chase Curry. He's not the right. He's too big for that.
No, but that's why he would have been the dude to come off after the screen.
Instead of having Embiid up top, you'd have Ben.
Exactly. That's how they would have ran it. That's how when Curry first ever faced that type of defense, it was against Cleveland in the 3-1 comeback. When they ran he faced it against San Antonio in the regular season. Cleveland used it in the playoffs, in the championship, and they ran Tristan Thomas and Kevin Love out there, more athletic defenders, and they was able to chase Curry up the line and make his threes difficult. He adjusted his game since then because now everybody does it. But it still helps the defense. And Ben being athletic, like I said, 6'10", length on him, can move. He would have been a perfect dude to run out there and chase Curry off the line.
Well, fortunately, Phoenix lost. Phoenix wound up beating Milwaukee in overtime. Wow. So we didn't lose no ground as far as playing Milwaukee. They didn't gain anything on us. So
Devin Booker starting to rise.
Yeah, but we played them on Wednesday. So this is going to be a tough game on Wednesday going up against them and Chris Paul.
Yo, did Curry shoot any threes close to the line?
Why would he?
Yeah, he shot like 2 of them.
You notice
only like
closer
the
closer he comes in, the more he bricks, the harder the shot. Like he needs to be further.
Yeah.
Before we get out of here though, I want to touch briefly about that KD in his top 5 that he brought up on a podcast that he did over the weekend.
Top 5 dead or alive?
Yeah, he said he gave his top 5.
His top 5 teammates.
Top 5 teammates that he ever played with. And the original recording, he kind of left off Westbrook. But when they identified, Westbrook was there, then he was like, oh, yeah, he actually should be number 4.
Give me his top 5, he said, without Westbrook.
Top 5, number 1, he said, was Kyrie. Number 2 was Harden. Number 3 was the great Steph Curry. Number 4 is Westbrook. Well, no, Clay was number 4, and Serge Ibaka was number 5. Then he made that correction and put Clay at number 5 and put Westbrook at number 4. Any thoughts?
I don't have a problem with his list.
I do. First of all,
the first one. Wait, what about you?
I'm muted.
You been?
Wait a minute, I just heard you.
We heard.
I know. I'm muting myself since he want to mute me. Y'all go ahead and finish this out. I don't care about
that. I muted all of y'all.
I'm here. Y'all go ahead.
All right.
First of all, I'll say this since we don't want to talk. I'll talk for him.
No, don't talk for me. Talk for you. I give my minutes.
Wasn't you just muted?
Mute him again.
Yeah.
But look, first of all, I'm gonna try to make this short and sweet.
Yes, please.
KD was frauding. He didn't forget Westbrook. That's very because and the thing about it, he thought about every answer before he answered it. If you watch it, and I watched it 2 times. He didn't forget about Westbrook. He purposely let Westbrook. This is why boys call KD corny and call KD a sucker sometimes because he do corny stuff. If you got beef and you don't want to put him on, don't put him on. Like if you didn't think he was a good teammate, just say, yo, I like him, but we didn't mesh well. We didn't really mesh well or better than these other players. Like keep it a bean. For 2, Steph Curry should have been the number 1 teammate because you won 2 rings with him, went to 3 championships with him. You ain't even play how many games? Did he even play 20 games with Kyrie yet? Or Harden? Has he even played 20 games with either one of these dudes to say that they're the best?
That's his current.
He played Harden. He played with Harden and OKC. You're right. But he said Kyrie was 1. How many games has he played with Kyrie?
No,
you said short and sweet, right?
Let me give you the other side. First of all, if you're playing in the NBA, why are you even answering that question right now? For 1, you gotta be smart in that. For 2, you have to say the teammates you're playing with. These dudes got egos.
Yeah.
You have to you have to stay the teammates you're playing with right now. So I had no problem with him saying Kyrie and Harden. These are the guys he's playing with right now. But he should have just listen. If you left Westbrook off the list, leave Westbrook off the list. Be like I said what I said. These athletes sometimes, man, I really don't get them. Like the boy, even another one, even worse. Like the boy Chauncey Billups comparing himself to Allen Iverson, saying he should be in the Hall of Fame. Like the nerve of you.
Was that a true statement?
The nerve of these guys.
Is that a true statement, or is that just some?
I don't know. Wayne put it up there.
So, like I said, was it a true statement?
What's that?
Yeah, before I speak on that, I do want to know if that was true or not. The one you posted about the dude talking about Chauncey
Billups and AI.
Yeah.
He said, "Was it a true statement? Have we fact checked that?"
What? Go ahead.
That he actually said it. Was it?
It was an interview.
You put out the interview or just the?
You talk about a guy that averaged a career 14, 15 points a game.
That's what he said when he was in.
Chauncey averaged a career 14, 15 points a game, man. Like, come on, man.
Yeah. First of all, real quick to Ephraim's point, Stop being butthurt because he ain't Joeing Steph up like you want him to Joe Steph up.
He should be.
He was asked about his best teammates. He's talking about guys that he vibed with, that he liked playing with.
He played 20 games with Kyrie. He played 20 games. He played about 20 games.
So what? But he liked playing with him. He didn't like playing with Steph. He ain't respect Steph. Didn't he clown? What you say, Ethan? What'd he do?
He ain't respect his sneakers.
Yeah.
He didn't respect nothing he was doing. He called them N1s trash. He said nobody want N1s. We don't rock N1s.
First of all, they Under Armour. Let's get this clear.
Yeah, Under Armour, whatever.
Let's get this clear.
So all I'm saying is
What are Starberries?
The main reason, let's get it straight. The main reason you was upset because when he listed his teammates, he had Steph Curry as number one because he won championships.
No, I told you.
He's talking about the guys he liked playing with, the teammates he vibed with, that he had cohesion with.
And he was, remember when he went to Golden State, he was all, me and Curry best friends, and that's why
he never said
together and all that.
Show me that. Show me that he said him and Curry was best friends.
I'm gonna put an interview up.
Curry ain't even the one that brought him there. It was Draymond.
He talked. Calm down. He talked about how long they known each other. They know each other since way back when they played in, I think, the McDonald High School game, and they was cool, blah, 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 and all this old goofy stuff. But this is why Bulls don't got no love for KD. KD do goofy stuff. Just like Ethan said, we was talking about earlier. Steph Curry brings you on his team, right? He welcomes you in with open arms. He helps you win a championship to get your name out of the abysmal high scoring dudes who never won a championship like Barkley and Dominique and great players who never won. He helps you with that. And the first thing you do is hate on this dude's sneakers when he's trying to build his own brand. That is nut stuff. That's why Westbrook don't got no respect for KD, because KD does nut stuff.
Well, so Westbrook don't like KD only because he didn't tell him that he was going to Golden
State. And that's nut stuff.
Westbrook petty. He petty. I like it.
He is, but then you get on the podcast and name Serge Ibaka over Westbrook. And then you don't want to, and then when you called on it,
suppose he like playing with Serge.
Then when you called on it, you backpedal. Like, I forgot. Come on, that's goofy. Like, stop being goofy.
He moved him up over Clay.
I think he
did. Did he move him over Clay?
Yeah.
He did.
Okay, so to me, it seemed like it's a genuine mistake.
It's goofy. I got before we get out of here, I got some video of Ethan and Wayne down Bullhouse Row. I wanted to share this with y'all real quick. Look at this.
Yo, boy, stop. That is how Ethan be playing defense, though.
This is Ethan and Wayne down Bullhouse Row.
What the heck is they even playing?
Is
this? Is this rugby ball? Like, what the heck?
Wait for it. Look at Ethan and Wayne. Look, there they go, right underneath the court. This is done.
Except I don't go down.
No, I saw that the day I was cracking up. I said, I gotta put this on it.
I don't know. I don't know what you be watching in your spare time.
Yeah,
that sounds like
stay off the dark side of YouTube.
Yeah, in the dark web. But listen,
now you're gonna get us flagged.
We'll be back Wednesday night.
But you know what? One more thing I didn't like. As much as I bang with Curry, as much as I think Curry should be MVP over B right now, I don't like him getting an MVP chant in our stadium. I don't bang with that.
I did.
Why is that?
Because Embiid and Ben Simmons need to shut up and play. Because I'm tired of B worrying about MVP. Play like an MVP. Stop worrying about getting an MVP.
That was totally
good. I like it. Good.
Now let me ask y'all real quick. Who are the other MVP candidates? Are we hearing them saying that they should be MVP? Are we hearing this?
I'm not.
I heard James Harden say it.
He said he should be MVP?
Yes.
I don't hear Joker saying it.
We don't know what language.
Saying it.
We don't know his language you speak.
So he could be saying it in his language.
He could be saying it in his native tongue.
I don't hear Luka saying it. I don't hear none of these other dudes that's talked about saying it. I don't see. Has Dame said it?
I ain't hear Dame say it.
We heard. Remember last year we heard LeBron complain about that he didn't get.
That was after. That was after.
Doesn't matter. He complained.
It does matter. Because you know why it matters? Brown won the championship.
And it was after. To me, it was after. To me, after the fact, I think it holds a little bit more weight than trying to campaign for it.
Good. And B needed that humble pie. Good.
Yeah.
All right. So we took that L tonight. Steph blacked out. Congratulations, Ephraim, on that win.
All right, real quick.
Can
one
you
more
say
thing.
good night?
One more thing.
Can you say good night?
One more thing. This had to be addressed because this happened tonight. Do y'all think he's the greatest offensive weapon right now in the game?
Ever?
In the game right now, and possibly of all time.
You really be getting carried away.
I'm just asking.
Wipe your chin. Wipe your chin.
This is a question.
Wipe your chin.
This is a question that was brought up
This is not a greatest hits Steph Curry podcast.
Listen,
we don't care. Nobody cares.
This dude is doing something. Everybody cares.
Does he lead the league? Is he leading the league in scoring right now?
He's number 2.
Okay, so shut up. Never mind. Let's go.
All right.
What is that?
Does he lead the league in assists?
Who's number? Wait a minute.
He has the highest field goal percentage out of all the.
Who's number 1?
Is it Bill?
Is Bradley Beal still by a fraction? It's going to be Steph Curry by the end of the year. That's guaranteed.
Hold on. This what I want to put up there. If anybody listens to the end,
I know because ain't nobody listening at this point. Go ahead.
Is this more? Is Steph Curry's streak more impressive than James Harden's was in that
2018-19?
All right, let's ask that. Let's talk about that next time.
All right.
All right, we're going to talk about that because I got fired for all that.
All right. Warriors over the Sixers, 107-96. Steph blacked out. We out.
Deuces.